and Dryden Pence, Chief Investment Officer, Pence Capital Management. It's good to see both of you all today. You've got all of the Mag 7 posting gains, but when you think about this year to date, not all members of the Mag 7 are created equal. Jed, I want to start out with your thoughts on the group as a whole, and then I want to get into your views on NVIDIA shortly.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. The Mag 7 group has gone in different directions year to date. Tesla, I think, is probably the worst performer. Google's not far behind that. The best performer, I believe, is Meta. Meta's done an exceptionally good job of monetizing AI and using it to improve productivity, both on the cost side, but also monetizing time spent on their apps. So big winner there. And then, yeah, Tesla struggled because the car business is lagging, and investors are a lot less enthusiastic about it. Still, long-term hopes related to robotics and autonomous vehicles in general, but also a lot of questions.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dryden, I want to get your thoughts on the group as a whole. Jed points out, as is correct, Meta is the leader in the group. What's your view overall on the Mag 7? And then I want to hear your thoughts shortly, Dryden, about Meta.
Sure. Well, we're positive on the entire Mag 7 because we're so early on in this full development of AI. We're just in the infrastructure stage, and now we've got to move over into implementation. So all of these companies are going to be winners in both as we develop the infrastructure of the AI, the next generation of productivity in America, but then also as you get into implementation, there's going to be winners there. And those, I think, that's the big horse race that we have to pay attention to.
Jed, I want to go back to you, and let's talk a little bit more about NVIDIA. Although Meta is the leader in the group, NVIDIA is actually still, it's in the top three. So you got Meta, you got Microsoft, followed by NVIDIA. You believe that demand will stretch well into 2026 for NVIDIA. What fuels that viewpoint?
Yeah, I think Dryden's right. It's year 3 of this build out, but we are still pretty early in what seems like a mega cycle for AI infrastructure and data centers. NVIDIA, of course, is driving that. Their CEO is traveling the globe collecting orders from overseas. Here over the last month, that's been exceptionally successful. Sovereign AI is a real thing. And then I think industrial or robotics related AI is probably the next leg after that in a year or two. And so the buyer base is expanding. The existing buyers are going bigger each year. We're going to see Microsoft announce that here in a month when they report earnings and provide CapEx guidance for fiscal 2026. So just exceptionally strong and diverse demand for NVIDIA products.
And then, Dryden, I want to go back to get your thoughts on Meta. So, again, it has been the outperformer in the group. Today they announced, which I cringed at this, that they're going to be doing ads or on WhatsApp. And my producer rightly pointed out, look, you get it for free. So what's your view about the continued outperformance here when it comes to Meta?
Well, I think in each of the Mag 7, you have to figure out why they are exceptional. They're all exceptional, but figure out why. So Meta has the ability to monetize their advertising platform, and regardless of where they are, they have a lot of domestic revenues here. They're able to continue to do that, and it's something that people are always using. It's how we fundamentally communicate. So we think Meta is going to continue to outperform for that reason, and they have multiple platforms that people are using. But the monetization of these things goes forward far beyond that as we get into implementation. So I don't think in this horse race analogy again that you can count out Apple or Amazon or Microsoft, because all of them have unique capabilities to capture the activity of the users. And this is where this build out's going to come from.
Dryden, let me ask you a follow-up on that, because you make a great point in terms of the losers in the Mag 7 year to date. Again, we've got gains on the board today, but Apple has been a significant underperformer. Apple and Tesla have been the worst performers. Apple's actually now at the bottom of the list because Tesla's regaining some ground. What's your viewpoint on where it goes, and could it even potentially catch up?
Well, for Apple, absolutely. You have an organization that has 2.4 billion active users worldwide. That's larger than it's almost twice the size of China. And so when you recognize that, Apple sometimes is a little slow, but when they get it right. And so when they're able to integrate AI into all those devices, that it becomes completely a part of someone's life. And therefore, this implementation piece of it is going to be easier for Apple than all the other companies. So they may be lagging right now, but I think this is one of these come from behind stories because they've just got so many people for which they are an absolute extension of their arm. People, go nowhere without their iPhone. And so this is what's going to be important. So if we think a little long term here, if we're looking at what's the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to see Apple become in a position to dominate once they kind of get the logic and the reasoning right and move beyond just kind of the copy paste part of AI into the absolute utilization and implementation.
Dryden, you make a great point because literally, as you said that, I picked up my phone. I'm like, there it is, an extension of my arm. Jed, I'm going to give the floor to you for a 30-second final thought, especially when we think about Apple or Tesla.
Yeah, Apple, they're behind on AI right now, but people are not ditching Apple to buy the Google Pixel or Samsung devices yet. So that shows you how strong the ecosystem is. They have time to try to figure it out. Hopefully they're successful on that. They promised us something in the spring of 2026 here last week. So we're all going to be eagerly waiting.
Yeah, we'll see if it's enough to get more people to upgrade their latest and greatest to the latest and greatest. All right, thank you both. That's Jed Ellerbrook, Argent Capital Management, Dryden Pence, Pence Capital Management.